finished Game of Thrones, and I almost finished House of Dragons.
I've never watched either one of them.
Welcome.
Bro, you gotta watch Game of
I mean,
Do we start this?
yeah, it's on. We're on.
Yeah, you gotta Game of Thrones, bro.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's
I've heard-
like that, bro. On some nerdy shit, it's like that.
I've heard mixed reviews, but I'm a fan of like most HBO shows, so it can't.
It's on
be-
HBO.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You got HBO Max?
Nah, Game of Thrones is the
Think
truth.
so.
Though. It's the truth.
It's Game of Thrones is some fucking sick shit.
I mean,
I'll check it out.
they didn't do good at the end, but the entire show is still.
That's because. Did you hear why the ending is bad?
Why?
So basically, the ending sucks, and everybody hates the ending because of the way they finish. They like wrap it up. It could have been longer, could have been more, but it already is long as fuck. But basically, the people who made Game of Thrones took a deal from the people who make Star Wars. They were gonna they wanted them to make this new Star Wars, and so they wanted to finish Game of Thrones so they could just go jump into Star Wars, and they just rushed the whole ending.
Yeah.
And then the ending was so bad, and the reviews on it were so bad that then Star Wars canceled their contract with them.
Damn.
Yeah, because of it.
Oh.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
They did a shit ton of multitasking, and he fucked them over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of like contracts and stuff like that, what do y'all think about the WWE, UFC?
What I've heard, I saw some shit about that. Elaborate. What is going on?
So apparently
They're owned by the
merged
same company now. Right?
now. So, but my thing is, are they run by the same? Is the company when they paired up together? Is it one board? Is it two different companies? Are they one just having two different? Like what's the? I think we first have to understand the dynamic of whatever the hell they got going on before we actually even have a say.
What company is it that bought what?
I want to say it's
UFC bought WWE or
TKO.
they merged.
It's like a merge. They merged the
You
companies.
talking about Dana White and the other dude's company that
Vince
they own?
McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be a lot of like just cross promotion. I don't think it's going to change either sport very much.
It's
But
good for both sports. It's gonna
I
bring.
think you'll see like a lot of like the UFC guys retire and go to the WWE.
Or the guys who
I don't
couldn't make
think
it.
You'll see
That's
as
actually a
many
good idea.
of the wrestlers go from WWE to UFC.
No.
Although they have been.
It'll be good because they have hype behind them.
Right.
They already have the UFC
I mean,
hype.
Brock Lesnar, bro.
Yeah, I'm talking about it'll be good for the UFC guys. They get done with their career.
Oh, yeah.
And they have something they can still actively do, keep their name, keep their clout, and keep money coming in. So that's cool.
And it'll be good for guys like, for instance, some guys they're not as talented as other fighters, but they're very entertaining. Maybe that could be a medium for them
Agreed.
too, if they don't make it in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of prospects who were very entertaining, but for some reason, in some mixed up thing, they couldn't make it in the UFC. So maybe that could be an avenue for them to go try something else.
Here's what the only thing I don't like is so right now, like WWE and actually the NFL, bro, are two sports that are not sports. You can call them sports for wrestling, but they clarify as a sports entertainment, not a competitive sport. So I think it's weird that the NFL falls under that.
Football?
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people are starting to say that like football is like scripted, and like football is like there's a lot of rigging in football, right? And that's in every sport. People think that across the world, it's all a thing. But the fact that they classify as a sports entertainment and not actual competitive sport, like WWE is the only other company that is a
NFL
sport.
though?
Yes, that's what. I saw some shit on that.
It makes sense though. It's entertainment.
Yes, I know, but all sports are entertainment. Baseball is entertainment. Basketball is entertainment. But football itself is the only one that goes under is not considered a competitive sport. It's considered a entertainment sport.
What?
Yeah, it's like a whole category.
That's
They choose to put themselves in that category, sports
Right.
entertainment. Why? I don't know. It's just weird because then now that makes me feel weird about the UFC coming over with WWE because like fucking the last thing we would ever need is like people starting to say that the MMA
Right.
is
It's
rigged.
scripted,
Scripted.
yeah.
I think the whole appeal of MMA period is the fact that it isn't scripted or fake and like
That's
It's
what
real
I'm saying.
fight.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
an actual
So,
fight.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Wrestling was cool when I was younger. I'm definitely not into it these days.
Everybody wanted to be a fucking WWE
Right, like
star.
Stone Cold Steve Austin did the shit. You
And
know?
jump from on top of the bed and put the pillow down there and just jump on it.
Yeah, hit the elbows on him and shit.
Well, that's because you also used to believe it was real.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, you didn't
And
know it was
then
fake.
once I found out it was scripted, and then found out
Killed your vibe. Dude.
yeah,
It
what-
killed my dude.
It's
Like
like,
when
you know, when you find out the fucking Power Rangers aren't real, it's like,
Yeah.
Or like
damn,
Santa
son.
Claus. Like Santa
Yeah.
Claus isn't real.
Yeah.
There's really no guy
And then there's
going
wrestling, and
into
you're like,
people's
bullshit.
chimneys.
We can't have
at
nothing.
night. Oh yeah, you can't have nothing, brother.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt, bro. It killed my vibe. I was like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
this shit's fake, bro. I've
Yeah.
been believing in this shit, dude."
Yep. I used to believe all that stuff, like the blood, the gore, and when I
Mm-hmm.
found out it was scripted, I'm like, geez.
And
My
then-
whole childhood has been a lie.
And then
is
the
it
UFC
fake?
started popping, like the Ultimate Fighter came out, and I seen that shit. I was like,
And the
this
Gracie
this
brothers,
is the coolest fucking thing ever.
they had different eras. It was fire though when
Oh,
the
yeah.
UFC came along, like
Yeah.
actually bringing real legit
Bless you.
fighters from around the world. And you know, I think one of the reasons the UFC blew up was that was a thing that we fantasized in movies. Remember the Van Damme era? And when they would go to competitions where they'll bring all the fighters from the world and then they fought. So I think that was something that everybody fantasized about. And finally, the UFC did bring it to life, and it was crazy.
Yep. There was other promotions before UFC though, like Pride was before UFC and all that. So they did that stuff in Asia a lot.
Pride started the UFC. Pride is essentially what the UFC
But like
is.
that UFC brought it to America, right?
Yes.
They were the first to do it here.
Yes.
Yeah, because they had a lot of stuff back in Europe and Asia,
Right.
like Pancrase. They
And
had
there
their
was-
own thing going on.
There was a lot of like negative feedback from like politicians and shit too. They tried to ban it. And that's why
'Cause you're
now
in
you
fucking
have
America.
You have the rules and shit, but before you could fucking punch each other in the dick. You could soccer kick somebody in the head while they're down. You can do.
Yeah.
It was a fight. You
Dude,
could
you
do
could
anything.
curb stomp people. Like
Yeah.
straight up soccer. kick
Like
them in
the
the head,
first-
dude.
That's crazy.
The first UFC fight ever, it was within like seconds. This big dude just laid the fuck out on the floor, kicked his teeth out into the crowd
Yeah.
type shit. Like,
What?
I don't even know if they had mouthpieces,
You didn't know that,
bro.
No, I
There was literally no fucking
there was no
rules, bro.
rules. Like back in Pride days, you could literally. I'm talking like if you dropped somebody and they were laying on the canvas, you could soccer kick them in there.
Look at Vanderlei
that's like
Silva
actual fight to
highlights.
the death kind of
yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
Look
yeah.
up Vanderlei Silva highlights. It's a bunch of videos of him just kicking
crazy,
people in their
dude.
melon while they're down. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
He's trying to kill them.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and then like people
see-
like John McCain was, you know, they started calling it human cockfighting and stuff like that, and tried to get it. They got it banned in a lot of states, and I don't know. They had to like. That's when like the athletic commissions came in, and there was actually
Yeah.
rules put in
Set
place.
rules.
It still is
Yeah.
banned in certain
Mm-hmm.
states. It just got like, I think what was it? New York was the most recent state. Yeah, like Maryland doesn't even have amateur. That's why there's no amateur in Maryland. Every state you go is different. Like the regulations on it are different.
So that's why Stellar, all the amateur fights are done
Delaware.
in Harrington.
Yeah, so
and then at the Civic Center, it's all
it's
pro.
all pro,
fights.
exactly.
Makes sense now.
Virginia, there is no rules. They
I
don't give
mean,
a
that's where they
fuck.
do like street beefs and shit in Virginia.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've been doing that for years, so I'm guessing it's legal.
Yeah, it's totally different everywhere you go. It's not even legal in California.
At
or
all?
not California. What the fuck is it? There's a couple places out west that don't even have it legalized. Like there is no MMA.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a crazy sport though, so I kind of understand. Some people,
Yeah, but
yeah,
It's not like it was back then either.
No,
You know what I mean? There's
no.
like rules in place. And
yeah. And, you know, some of the people in these positions are old heads, so they're probably still watching Pride Days and be like, "Hell, freaking no!"
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
about to bring that out here.
That's like the 12 to 6 elbow thing. Like you're not allowed to 12 to 6 elbow because one of the athletic commission people who didn't know jack shit about anything saw a video of some like, you know, kung fu guy or somebody breaking bricks with their elbow in the 12 to 6 and was like, that's too dangerous. You can't do that. But I'm sure y'all know like the 12 to 6, you don't really generate as much power as you do with like
Yeah.
a nice.
There's a lot of weird rules like that like are implemented, but they don't really. It's like the glove, like even the gloves. People like there's an argument that the gloves are pointless. Like the 4-ounce gloves, like it actually is worse to wear the gloves
don't
because
know.
no. So like I agree. I know what you're saying, and like
You watch
But they're-
BKFC?
Well, so yeah, look, bare knuckle is gross. It's fucking crazy what them motherfuckers do, right? But like, you got to think too. Bare knuckle is just straight boxing.
Right.
Boxing without a glove is insane. Like, it's just straight headshots with the fist the whole time. There's no grappling, there's no kicks, there's no exchange of pace. It's just boxing. But they say that the gloves, because they provide more padding for your hand, that because it reduces injury on your hand, it allows you to hit people harder. Because that's one thing pro knuckle boxer or pro bare knuckle boxers will tell you is like it's a total different fight style. You can't have your hands open and loose on the guard. You gotta everything's tight. You whenever you punch, you gotta punch correctly. You gotta make sure you hit accurately, because if you hit somebody bare fisted on their fucking wrong spot, you're shattering your hand. So they say that like you could sit there and ground and pound somebody's head in with a glove and it doesn't affect you at all. So it's like worse for the fighters, but there's different arguments for both sides.
Have you seen the Game Bread MMA?
No, I haven't, but I've
It's
heard
bare
of it.
knuckle, dude.
That's sick.
It's pretty fucking gangster,
That's
bro.
sick.
They had what was his name? Big Country on there.
Yeah, I need to start watching that shit then.
All old fucking knocking people the fuck out. Bare knuckle is crazy as shit.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, I just can't get into it, to be honest.
What, bare knuckle?
Yeah, I like it. I like the highlights, but I just can't like get into it. Like the whole community and all that. I don't know why. It's just my thing.
Did you watch the Mike Perry fights?
Yeah, I've seen Mike Perry fights. Yeah, I've seen highlights.
He fucked Louis Rockhold up.
Yeah,
he did.
He did. I think that it's soon here, maybe like another, with the way everything's going, I think that another year or two that there will be no bigger sport in the entire world than MMA and like combat sports. I think we're in that phase now where everybody loves it. Like, there's so many casual fans now. It gets so much attention on the media. There's so many big names. We got crazy new champions, like that dudes that just get nothing but clickbait reels, like fucking Sugar Sean and
Sean
Strickland, and then on top of that, you got the kickboxing is growing now. Like, kickboxing is there's some bad motherfuckers in kickboxing right now. There is some bad motherfuckers in boxing. Like, bare knuckle boxing is all so entertaining. I feel like soon it's just gonna be like that is the mecca. Like, that is the sport. Is combat sports. Like,
it's hard not to like it.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's human nature. I mean, it's as old as time. People gathering around to see people fuck each other up. Like
in Rome,
gladiators.
It's a modern day gladiator thing.
Yeah.
But this one is different because you actually sign it yourself.
Yeah. My coach always says, he's like, all right, you're at a football game and you're watching a football game. He said, and somebody's on a 30-yard, 40-yard touchdown run, and a fight breaks out in the crowd behind you. Where do your eyes go?
The fight.
And he's like, that's why everybody wants to see that. No matter if you're like, oh, I don't like violence, or you're this pacifist motherfucker, like, your eyes are gonna be like, oh my god, there's a fight.
Every
Holy
time.
shit. Yeah.
It's very entertaining, even to the casual person, the first timer, the vet. Every fight, because every fight is different. It's like football. We have routes. We know, okay, he did this route. Fight is just, it's just something that happens in the moment that it's so unpredictable. Very and I think that's where the wow factor comes in, and people want to see what's next, what's next, because everything is new.
Yep.
It's not like a repeated thing where basketball was about it. He's about to dunk. He's about to do every move, but the fighting is just a whole different world.
That's a good way to
You don't
put
know
it.
how he's gonna end. You know this guy has been training, and you know this guy is the almighty, the alpha omega. He's beating all these guys, but then there comes this guy. There's one guy that has his number and just dial it that night, and hey, he answers the phone. So that's how I think MMA will triumph every other thing. If they keep that going and it's not scripted, because. Right. Like Taylor said, if they bring that scripting in there, I'm turning up the TV.
If they do that, I don't really understand why they would ever do that. Like, that would just ruin it. It would ruin it completely. As soon as that takes you could tell. If an MMA fight was truly scripted, you'd really be able to tell, bro.
You know why? It's martial art. You can't fake it.
Yeah, you can't fake that
people
shit.
who have dedicated their life to it, even though they're not in the cage, they could call you out.
Certain boxing fights I've seen that is like, I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff. Every sport, bro. Every sport. There's some dude I see every day on fucking TikTok and shit. Like, just people like exposing little things, like little plays out of like basketball or football or even boxing or kickboxing. Like, there's just these moments in like sports where you're like, that was a little sus right there. But like nobody noticed it when it's on live TV and it just happens so fast. But like you see like the clips of like people who are right there with their phones and you see some shit. Like I've seen videos of like football players getting a football and then as soon as they get it, they like stick their thumb up at like the guy running at him to tackle him and like he'll miss the tackle.
But then
Like weird shit, bro. Like shit you don't see on TV.
But then here's the thing: a sport like soccer, we've had teams being investigated for fixing matches. And we're talking about a sport where there's about 22 people on the pitch playing. How do they script it? How do they fix it? That's something that I still am yet to figure out. How do they do all these things? Like, what do they do that makes the play different? How do they figure out that alone will affect the play to make it different and get the result they want? So, whoever is doing it is really, they got to be smart. So I'm trying to figure out what's the play here. How do they do it? How do they fix all this stuff? Like, cause it's crazy that. Do you get everybody on board, like the coaches, the player?
Right.
I'm trying to figure out how do they do all that.
I wondered the same thing. It all because what I see, I'm like, dude, my eyes ain't lying to me. But like at the same time, I understand the sport. I'm like, I played every sport growing up. None of them I've ever like faked anything. I've gone full out for every single sport I've ever played or been in, like trying to win and trying to do my best. But like, you don't know, you know what I mean? Like we don't really know. No. Like same way we don't know Hollywood, we don't fucking know. We don't know really what goes on behind closed doors, like who's calling what shots. It could be one player, it could be a coach, it could be many different things, you know what I mean? But like it's just that's the one thing that sucks is like the legitimacy for everything is starting to get questioned a lot for everything going on in the world.
Yeah, because
everybody knows
the media now. The media now,
yeah.
Everybody has access to actually view in real time. If they want to take their time to actually look at everything,
dissect it,
they could actually do it.
it.
Yeah, so, you know what I think is, I'll leave the door open with the fact that at least I want to enjoy the sport because sometimes when you get into that criticism mindset, every time you see it, you think there's something wrong. Sometimes it's just natural. Mm-hmm. So I just like to keep an open mind and let it be, but we'll see how the future turns out.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily worried per se about MMA or the UFC in particular becoming scripted or nothing like that just because they're merging with the WWE. I see a lot of like cross promotion and stuff happening, but I don't see it changing either sport.
Yeah, it's probably good it's probably going to be great for that for sure.
Especially for the promotion.
All the people who like WWE, like I don't know how you haven't yet, but if you watch WWE still and you haven't really started watching MMA, like you're fucking up. Mm-hmm. Go watch some cage fighting. I promise you, it's totally different.
It's sick.
And then same vice versa. Like, I mean, I've been WWE to me is like when I know it's fake, it's not as cool.
They don't like to use the word fake. It's scripted.
Yeah.
So like because they're actually doing some crazy shit.
Yes.
They're actually hurting themselves and they're actually doing shit that requires like some athleticism.
Yeah.
And like the better wrestlers are the ones that are more like in shape and the ones that practice more and you know what I mean? And there's the whole entertainment and character aspect of it too. But if you're just in it for like, you know, the competition or like the fighting aspect of it, like, the fighting is not real combat. But like, you know, different strokes for different folks. Some people just like wrestling.
I'm not gonna hold you.
I got friends that, you know, are pro wrestlers and shit.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
It's not my thing, but, you know, it's definitely some people's thing.
Yeah, it is.
What ruined it for me was seeing it up close.
Yeah.
I went to the Civic Center for the WWE fight not too long ago, and I sat ringside. I was right there, and I was like, oh, shit. Like this shit, like it's just a whole like when you watch it on TV, it actually looks like motherfuckers are getting stroked up,
right?
Like, and it does look intense on TV, but in person, it isn't. There is some cool moves, there is some cool variations, but a lot of it, I'm like, oh, this is like, oh, like I didn't know that, like it was this like kind of fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from the moment they walk out, from the moment even the shit talk is fake. Like I'm like, dude, like
right.
It's like you could tell they're just reading a script. Like it's like they're playing the character and like that kind of shit. It's like I get it, but at the same time, like I just think it would be cool if like it wasn't scripted. You just told these people like a movie. You're like, this is like not even give them lines, like not even lines. Like this is your character. Figure out how to fucking play it. If you don't play it well, you're fired. Type. You know what I mean? Like you talk this shit that you feel like you want to talk. Not like when they talk to each other, it's literally like they're reading. They're like it sounds almost fake. Like you can tell. Like they're just like.
I feel like too. it's different now than it used to be. Like, I still feel like I could watch old WWF shit from like back in the day with like The Rock and Stone Cold and all them guys, and it's still entertaining to me. I can still laugh at it and watch it and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the shit now,
I think it was like that back then. Like, they just did it. Like, they just showed up.
It's definitely a lot more like PG-13, and just like toned down, and it's not the
more
same.
It's more shenanigans than actual wrestling.
I hate that shit. Yeah. I hate this PG-13 softcore fucking bullshit ass world that we're going into.
Me too, man.
Bro, it sucks. Like the UFC now being owned by, because ESPN and the ESPN deal, ESPN's owned by Disney, so like Disney is like in charge of that shit. Now they can't say nothing. Like, it's funny when the motherfuckers get to go on there and act like fools. Like, that's what the sport is. Like,
I mean, Sean Strickland.
Dude, if
that
you're
motherfucker is unhinged, bro.
Yeah, if you're letting people get in a cage and try to kill each other, what is wrong with anything that could possibly come out of their mouth that isn't racist? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it, like, some guys are a little racist, but like it's just, even the censorship of like cuss words. I'm like, dude, like, you're moderating cuss words, and you can't let the guys cuss on the interviews and shit like that now, but you're letting them literally try to knock somebody's teeth out with a flying knee in front of whatever 10-year-old you're trying to like parental guide this for. Like, I don't understand it. I just don't.
Me neither.
I hate that shit. Like, let the motherfuckers just act like fools. Like,
it
builds the character.
Growing up, I was never,
it gets more money.
I was never censored as a kid. Like, a lot of kids aren't allowed to watch this, or all their CDs weren't allowed to have the parental advisory sticker on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they had to get the edited CDs. My parents let me watch and listen to whatever the fuck I wanted to. You know what I mean? So I've always been like, you know, what's up with the censorship bullshit?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It doesn't make sense.
I feel like the more you shelter kids and keep them away from the fucking real world and don't like educate them, and like, you know what I mean? Like, as long as they're ignorant to shit, when they are adults and they discover all this shit, it's like fucking Eve biting the apple, bro. It's just, it busts. Yeah. Everything is fucking new and crazy, and they're gonna fucking wild out, man.
I was listening to this philosopher yesterday called Alan Watts, and he said something. He said ignorance is how delusion starts.
Absolutely.
So when you try to keep a kid away from things and you're making them ignoring it, you're creating a delusion for them. Absolutely. They have a delusional perspective of how life really works. You have to explain everything that happens in life to your kids, but you have to explain it in a way they would understand, that wouldn't actually corrupt them. That's why it's great. I think it's always a necessary thing for parents to be the ones to introduce whatever they want to their child, and not the world dictating what gets to go by or not. Like, we're catering to setting people's feelings without actually exploring the fact that we could be catering to everybody, every parent in the world, actually taking the time to tell them, educate your kids, and just let them know this is what's up, over trying to tell parents what to do with your kids. Because that's what we have now. That's why this whole censorship, we're trying to cater to, how do we know if that's what the parents want or not?
Right.
So that's like what Taylor said, having a group of people speak over other people. Who's in charge? Who do we have to fight to get our rights back for kids to actually be able to talk with their parents and actually decide on what exactly that kid wants, instead of having people just tell us every time and be like, oh yeah, this was gonna go on in school, this was gonna go on in the UFC, this was gonna go on in wrestling, we can't have kids watch it. Well, how about adults? How about we have stuff that we used to have when we were kids? Because back then we could watch all this stuff and no one could stop us, right?
Yep.
So what happened? Do we now have different kind of kids than before from the 90s? Like, what's going on?
I'll tell you what it is. We have a different government. Like, dude, as long as the government of everything, governments of America, governments of China, as long as the governments, which they always will be, are in control, right? They are in charge of what is censored to us, than how we do things. The way you parent your kids, that is brought on to you by the government. They want everybody in America to be this way because whatever reason, whether they're crooked, bad, pieces of shit, whatever the fuck they do, they want this. Guess what? That's what's going to happen because they are in control of it. They have make charge. The shit that your kid gets taught at school is put into place by the government. You know what I mean? The rules of you. Dude, some places I'm sure that you probably in some states you probably can't even homeschool your kid. or some shit. There's probably some rules like that, right? Like
Probably.
probably you can't even have your kid in homeschool, right? Most of the reason now people do homeschooling is because they just don't want their kids being taught or put
It's
out there what
a
is
lot
in the
of
public
weird stuff
system.
going on in schools.
My
Yeah,
brother
it's not
talks
the
about it.
people. The people don't choose anymore.
Yeah.
There is no choice of the people. It's all what the fuck the government thinks is awesome and what they want to do, and that's it. If you don't agree with it, oh well.
And you know how they do it? I'll tell you. I think they're using kids too as a weapon. They'd be like, oh, it's good for the kids. And you know, when we hear children, we're very delicate on that matter because we actually want what's good for our next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to not touch it and not put too much emphasis on it. But it's they've been using kids as weapon now to just introduce stuff to our next generation, to people who are supposed to take over the future. They're just indoctrinating them in a bunch of shit without the parents actually having control. To be honest, I mean, you turn on the media, you turn on everything. Do you have a say to what actually goes on there? You don't.
No, and I will say this too. To touch on what you said about fucking delusion. Like the way people, the next generation is the most delusional of them all because of all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Think about how the way like you all said, things were uncensored for you. Things were uncensored for you, right? They're like, that was some of the best times in society, right? It's those generations of people, right? And now we have this super censorship, super soft, super sensitive, but also like super strict on all kinds of things type of generation. And now you introduce so much high levels of technology, TikTok, phones at such a young age that these kids are fucking delusional, bro.
Yeah.
I had some conversations with some motherfuckers, bro. Like, I'm like, what in the fuck, bro? What? Like,
So-
what are you saying, bro? Like, you even know what you're saying?
And you know something else I've noticed, and I'm not. This is not. I'm sorry, we're taking a bunch of deep end stuff here. This is not something where it's been stereotypically like analyzed here. There's just a way where people right now, especially the younger ones, they're basing their personality off like their religion. They're basing it off their sex, their gender,
they base it off everything.
their astrology. Like those. My thing is, I've always been a believer that you have different sides to you, and you cannot just say this is you. Oh, I'm a Capricorn, and so I have to behave a certain type of way. I think it's delusional.
I'm a Capricorn.
I think so. Like, I'm a Sagittarius. So when girls hear, for instance, I'll tell a girl I'm a Sagittarius, and that's how, sometimes I even gauge them that way. You hear when she say, "Oh."
Yep, that's exactly too, bro. They're like,
What? Like, oh.
they're like, oh, so you're like this. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, you
bro,
don't know me.
what?
Like, you don't know me. Like, oh, Sagittarius, you don't know me. Like, you can go on and on about what you know about Sagittarius, but you don't know me.
You're so right about that shit.
So,
bro.
and that's just an example. I mean, there's a plethora of them. So, my thing is, people have to stop. They have to get out of this narcissistic thinking. We're already selfish as it is as human beings already. We're made to be that way, in some sense. It helps us with surviving. We've come this far with it. But people have to stop thinking about the connection with society as something where they have to figure themselves out. And then what they figure out is what they just bring in. This is who I am. Yeah, so I have to figure myself. When I figure myself, I'm just going to bring it out. No, we figure out ourselves by interacting with ourselves. So you have to be open-minded to the fact that what you know might not be the correct thing. It might just be part of it. And the generation coming up, they don't understand this concept that you can't just sit in your room and analyze TikTok all day, get you a message from TikTok or something that's going on in the news or the media, and you just get everything from one source and then come out and start living life based on that perspective. Like you, for instance, you see women come online and talk about how, high celebrities who are male and how this happens with maybe a model, and you see women just come on and, oh, this is how it is, this is not how it is. It's a very sensitive topic. But my thing is, where's the part where we let the law, for instance, take charge and take control instead of us actually analyzing the situation we know nothing about? So those are the things that this generation that they've been put in a perspective where they only have one side of things. Like when you turn on the media, when you turn on the radio, it's just one side of things. Some people, when they go read it up from other sources, they bring it. I'm like, oh, damn, I played the whole video. The only thing they played was just one part
And
of
they
it.
deny they'll deny like other sources of information. They're like, oh, that's not what I saw. So
And
like it's the same source of information, dude. If you heard it this way, I heard it this way. Like
I've said it a couple of times, and I'm gonna say it again. What the hell is fact checkers? Who fact check the fact checkers? Like, who's gonna fact check the fact checkers? How do we know? How do we trust these people who are like you and I? To go, I did the CIA. What access of information do they have that we don't have? Right? They got to be the fact checkers.
who the fuck are the fact
Yeah,
checkers?
who the fuck are the fact checkers? That's what I'm saying. So this is just this, like, they created these little sects here and there for people to follow and just ride on a wave that, oh, fact checker says that's what it is. That's what it is.
The crazy thing is, though, we come from a different generation of, like, when you were doing schoolwork back in the fucking day, you had to cite your sources. You had to go to the library and look at actual fucking books, something you hold in your hand.
Yep.
These kids today, man, they don't know anything other than the fucking internet and information just being shoved down their fucking throat at such a rapid fucking speed.
By people like, I know what I'm talking
Right,
about.
man.
This is
I mean,
right.
they-
Trust
like,
me, bro.
right.
Sus. Trust me, bro.
Right. Like you said, TikTok, right? I mean, think about it, bro. We didn't have no shit like that back in the day. The internet wasn't fucking fast enough to support something like that back in the day. Now it's like normal. These kids are young as fuck on TikTok, just
Learning everything at
and
such a high rate.
it's the most random shit that pops up. And then they got it so you can set it to just for kids.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Who's regulating this shit? You know what I mean? Who-
Yep. How do I know? Because it's set for kids, and if I just leave my kids, she's not
Right.
gonna want. Look, I'll tell you, bro. Like,
Where
you
the
go on
fuck is Chris
YouTube.
Hansen when you need him?
YouTube is a perfect example. You have, like, there's these guys who they call themselves alpha males, and they're just setting things they do, and I don't. Then my thing is, who calls who? How do you know what's beta, alpha? Like, who started categorizing men into all this bullshit that you all got going on? Why can't someone just be the kind of man they want to be?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I agree with that.
Like, whatever. And I'll tell you something.
That's a
Relationships.
good point.
Relationships are. It's. I think it's a dynamic that plays factor between the two people involved. It's never any other. Like, I don't know what you got going on. You might be the lady might be the breadwinner at home, but if it works for you guys, hey, it works. Mm-hmm. If you want to be the stay-home dad and she just feels like she want to go to work, and that's what, if it works out for you guys, hey, that's what I think. People should be left alone to do whatever the fuck they want.
Different strokes for different folks, brother.
Straight up. So, giving kids the idea that, oh, a man got to behave. I mean, there's certain principles of being whatever we carry, that factor of being a man that we stand for in society. But I'm saying how you then present yourself or whatever you choose to carry on as your values and all, that depends on you. Whatever you choose to hold dear, like, this guy might like fighting it. I might see that as bizarre. I'm like, this guy's crazy. I would never want to be his friend. That's okay.
Yep.
I think everybody should be free to define whatever kind of man they want to be.
You're missing out though.
Hell yeah.
I'm a great friend.
So that's my thing. I think that's one of the things that I think is a theme with how the media talks to our kids. They give them this ideology that they got to follow this script without actually giving them the ability and capacity to explore different options on what they exactly want to be. I'll tell you one thing with kids. If a kid says, kids wake up, like I wake up as a kid, I'd say, I'm Superman today. I could wake up tomorrow and say I'm Batman. I did that all most of my life. I woke up and see I was fucking Stockholm Steve Austin and poured water on my head in school, and I was acting a fool with my friends. Because these are things kids do. It's a world that they've been born into, and they would explore different things before they finally solidify on probably a little bit of where they want to lean on to. So the idea that a kid says they're this, and then we label them that and say, yes, that's who the fuck he is. You just made that child stuck. Yeah. And now he got to be this whole thing that you already labeled him to be. So that's something that this generation that I think is lacking. The real freedom, which is the freedom to actually switch, change if you have to, if you want to be whatever the fuck you want. Instead of just being this thing that you've identified yourself, present to society that this is where I'm at. And by the time they start that calling you that, you can no longer leave that because, oh, damn, I'm pinned against the wall. I'm this. I can't live this identity anymore. I think everybody should be free to be whatever the fuck they want. If you feel like a bird, you should be able to fly. But the only thing I think is, don't make me identify you as a bird. I don't have to. It's not really my priority, my responsibility to think you're a bird. If you want to be a bird,
the way he does his analogy,
I mean,
bro.
you're not fucking wrong, brother.
yeah, if you want to, if you want to be a bird, if you want to be a bird,
just because he's got a cowboy hat, I swear he's not a fucking.
I'm not
cowboy.
a cowboy. If you want to be a bird, I think you should be able to fly. And if you jump from a roof and land and you splatter on the ground and you couldn't be a bird, I think that's great for you exploring.
You jump off of a roof, splat on the ground.
Good for you.
That's great for you, dude.
That's great for you. Because you
Keep up the good work.
you try to fly. At least now we know we can't. But my
At least now we know you can't.
You don't know
on
until
his
you try.
gravestone. Can't
so
fly.
yeah, but so I think like if people want to be whatever the fuck they want, they should be let be. Be
Yes.
whatever the fuck you want, but do not think I have a choice or I have a responsibility in the matter of identify. I don't have to like you. That's the thing. I think that's another soft thing we should talk about. People think people have to like them before they. Nobody owes you an obligation to like.
Dude, sometimes I
That's
just
cool.
don't like people, and I don't
That's
have
true.
a fucking explanation
You
as
should for
to
it,
why.
and that is okay.
I don't like your fucking face.
And it be like that sometimes, bro.
It's
It
fine.
just be like that sometimes. Like, you know, and it doesn't mean you got to be fucking rude to somebody or nothing. Like, always show people respect, but I don't have to like you.
No.
I don't have to fucking. Yeah, I don't have to play along with you if I don't feel like you know what I mean? I don't
Hey,
fucking have to.
That is that's what they got on. That is okay. You see, sometimes when people tell fuck up, they get so soft. Oh, you tell me no. You tell me fuck up, I'm like, yeah, that's great. At least he didn't let me fuck with him and be a snitch behind my back or do some shady shit. We need more realness in the world. We need to tell the kids the truth. We need to tell them there's a lot of fuckery in this world and they should be aware of it so they could prepare their minds and self
Yeah.
and prepare for the future. They are our future. So whatever the fuck is going on now, they need to know.
When kids grow up not knowing what sex is, what drugs are, or the repercussions or the severity of what they can do to you, they're just oblivious. And then they become an adult and
they try it.
they're going to be presented with sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
And it's
they're
very
gonna
pleasurable.
They're going to go fucking ape shit. They're not going to have any self-control or, no like knowledge of like, oh shit, this is bad, because they've never been exposed to the reality of it. You know what I mean? They've just been kept in the
reality
dark.
of life.
Yeah.
Reality of life, man. Life will smack you in the fucking face.
I mean,
real
dude, I went to
quick.
Christian school for a year, bro. And a lot of those kids I went to Christian school ended up like,
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
that's the story of my
Oh.
life. All the
You know
people
what
that
I'm
you
saying?
thought was
Like-
gonna be doing something great in life because they had this great ass family. Their family talked so
Yeah.
great out of them, and they had all this going on. Are the biggest fuck ups I've ever met. Now,
I'm gonna tell you, like, a best friend of mine. He came from the most wealthiest home out of every one of us, but we didn't know he had the highest depression out of every one of us.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Because for some reason he was just I think his family has some financial issues, but they couldn't. He wasn't. The family wasn't set up the way they were before, and that affected him greatly because he was already up here and this galore, and now he gotta be this guy, but then he has to put on the image of this guy, and he felt he had to do that.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that all that burden was on him because they wouldn't tell. People don't always talk
Right.
about stuff like that.
right.
Yeah,
They
especially when
also-
you come.
they're not-
Especially,
That's
they're
another
not
thing.
used to being down here. That's
Yes,
another thing too.
that's another thing.
You come up from down here, you understand what it's like
it's normal
to live that life. Yeah, it's normal.
I'll
yeah.
survive. That's just how I say it. Yeah, but I think what it comes down to is the way we got to find connection with everybody has to be determinant on our openness to everybody, and the fact that things will not always go your way, and everything is not as you have been told. I think that would be a great advice for my kid. I'll tell him, like, everything I'm telling you, even as your dad, isn't probably the whole truth. You will find out some truth for yourself as you go by. But this is the amount of truth I know. I think that's something that we should tell kids so that they could find connection in very openness. Because I think we're the whole idea of the media brainwashing our kids, even us, sometimes we indoctrinate our kids without knowing, because I've seen dads who mean well for their kids, but just because of their political view, they pass that on to their kids. Like, my family is a Democrat.
Yeah, because everything's bloodline.
Yeah, so
My kid has to believe what I believe. Everything. Yeah, I'm like both ways on that. I agree, like what you're saying. I like that shit, but also like it's your job as a parent to make the way that you believe in life like sponge. I don't know the word for it, but like so graspable for your kid that he wants to be like you. You know what I'm saying?
so
He wants to do the things that you do, but it shouldn't be like he has to be like that.
That's why I use the term. You should tell your child this is the entire truth I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to tell them this is as much as I know. And this is why. You should be able to explain that part to them, but they should still have freedom to be able to explore other options.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So you have like having parents just have a rigid way of identifying your kids and saying this is who they are, this is how they are. That's how they put pressure on kids. And especially like I don't know about the percentage of rich people or poor people. I don't know how that works, but there seem to be a lot of high standards for kids who are rich, and they have to put on all this facade and stuff. And you find out that kids who come from wealth, generally they tend to be somehow with their parents' wealth because they don't really value it. And then you see that most billionaires and millionaires around the world are actually self-made. There's a lot of things that it boils down to. So I think just raising your kids right, it really matters. Like fatherlessness, for instance, the father not being at home and the kid not having any male figure to be a father, it affects the kid a lot. So those are, I'll say it like this. When it comes to kids, I think we have to have a responsibility for how we actually even bring them. Like you have to have a plan for a kid. That's another adult you're raising that's going to be responsible for society. You might say just one child, but it goes along with Hitler was just one child. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
There've been a lot of them like that. Yeah, there's been a lot of them.
Motherfucker,
Yeah,
that was the son of somebody.
that was someone's child. That's what I'm saying. Like,
A lot of people like to say, "Oh, they're just kids. They're just kids."
yeah, I'm just
but
saying,
like,
bro.
those kids are going to become adults, and if they don't learn that there's like consequences for things, and just they're not aware of the real world, they're going to find out the hard way.
All right. So let's talk about Sean Strickland before we go. We can talk about this all day.
Well, hold on. Can I do the intro?
Yeah, do the
I gotta
intro.
shout the sponsors
All
shit
right,
out.
all right, let's
We went 40 minutes in. I love it. That was awesome. So look, what are we? Episode number 8 or 9?
9.
9. Episode number 9. We're almost at 10. So we got my guy. This is our producer over here. If you guys didn't know, Juice. This is the guy that takes care of all the shit behind the scenes. He's been on an episode before, but that shit tanked. Yeah. So we brought him back for some fire for one of his expertise, and he's just a good guy to talk to. So
yeah, we have great conversation all the time. So
yes, we do.
We're just having the regular conversation we'll regularly have, just on camera this time.
Pretty much.
And then to my left, we got Cowboy Nosa over here, but he's not an actual cowboy.
I could be.
My co-host. What'd you say?
Yeehaw.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, so episode number 9. This episode is brought to you by TRN and Print Ain't Easy. TRN train right now. Athletic apparel. Just basically get after it.
Yep. Summer's over. There's no more butt shaking outside. Take your ass to the gym. Get some merch. Get some athletic fit. And get your ass to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And my boys got you covered.
Shout
100%.
out and thank you to TRN and Print Ain't Easy for supporting us through this episode. What we're going to talk about after, we already dove in on a lot of cool shit, but we're going to talk a little bit about some UFC shit with Sean Strickland now becoming the middleweight champion of the UFC and our opinions on that. And then we're going to dive in on fucking music festivals. All right, so we're all 3 of us here lovers of music, the music culture, all different types of styles and genres. I've been to quite a few festivals myself, so is Juice, so is Nosa. So we're gonna dive in, especially we're gonna talk about something big that happened for us here lately, which was Blue Ridge birth. A lot of you guys know that went to that was some absolute
Blue Ridge
shit.
sucked.
That shit sucked, bro. Sucked.
Firefest Part 2.
Yeah, we're gonna tell you all about it, Juice. It was a fuckery. It was a fuck show. That's for sure. But yeah, so as Nosa was saying, go ahead. Let's talk about some fucking Sean Strickland.
So my boy Easy, you all know that's my countryman, even though he's from Australia or so. Or New Zealand, I don't know.
The Chinaman. The Chinaman.
He's a Chinaman, okay. Israel Adesanya. He got toppled over by Sean Strickland. And it was a beauty to watch. I'll tell you though.
Yeah, it was.
That was
cool.
It was a pretty cool fight. I mean, the average MMA fan most of them just talking. So when you go online and you have to filter through the bullshit to actually get to someone who actually is watching the fight and knows exactly what's going on in there. So my thing is, I still go with the fact that Israel didn't go all out, which I don't know why. That was something I was waiting for. He didn't bring out the dog in him. Maybe he wasn't his night, and that happens. It happens to every athlete. Sometimes,
especially when it's his position.
Yes, he's
being
been
a champ for so long. So many
I'm just
fights.
saying, bro. You lose, you come back and win the belt. There's so many pressure on him. So that might. I think it's a great way to bow out too. If that was his old, if he set that up in a way where he wanted to lose that belt, I mean, the fans don't deserve that. He should go in there and fucking box it out. But I think he deserves to choose if he wants to lose the belt or not. If that's too much of a burden for him, I care about the man's health too, as much as I care about the fact that he entertains us. So I'm just using that route. Let's just say that's the route. And the other route is maybe shit didn't just work against Strickland.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's kind of what it looked like to me.
And hey,
like
so
Strickland had an
maybe
answer for it all.
that's what maybe he shit didn't work against Strickland. I mean, at some point, fighting is about styles. So at some point, someone will figure out something. And I think Strickland just figured him out that night. Mm-hmm. That's another point of view from which I see it.
That 1-2 got his ass too.
And the last one would be, I think, Strickland, on the other hand, had more hunger that night than Israel. I think Israel underestimated him.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, so those three scenarios are what I see. Strickland had more hunger because he has something to prove, to be honest. And one thing I was seeing the other day online was, I think Strickland's pretty elite. He just sticks to what works. Mm-hmm. That's what I think people underestimate him. He's probably pretty elite. It just sticks to what works. Yeah. He's just one of those guys who he knows what to do, but he just listens to his coach and just do exactly some stuff that he just works with his coach with. I don't know. I'm just guessing, because from what he did that night, that was some freaking masterpiece of defense. I've never seen anybody defend.
It's because he spars.
Like
yeah, he spars now.
That's what he does.
Oh,
That's all he does for training. Really, is spar and some other shit, a little bit of here and there. But it's just a lot of spar. He spars like 4 days a week. So his defense is spot on, and I'm sure that obviously watching you have tons of the available. These guys also, people don't realize when it comes to fighting now at this level is there's so much tape. Mm-hmm. You're the world champion of the UFC, Israel Adesanya. Look how many fights you have to watch and see what he does. Yeah. For a guy like Strickland, his game plan, his defense, the way he spars, for him, he was probably just super dialed in, knew exactly what was going to be coming his way, and knew exactly how to have an answer for it when it came. The head kick, he was on it every time. The question mark, the leg kicks, he was checking every leg kick. You could tell it was just a lot of reps and sparring, a lot of people just putting the same shit out there that Izzy does, and he blocks it and then does what he does. So that's another thing that people definitely forget about is like, dude, you have so much study to do. Like, you can study so much on a guy. It's just like any sport. Football, film is huge in football. Like in fighting, people don't understand that when you study a fighter and you for 2 months just grind, 3 months practice for that specific guy, like you can do a lot of amazing things once your body is into that, like program, like reaction mode where you don't have to
read
think.
the patterns and all of that. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yep. That's right. So that's my take on it, and congratulations to Strickland.
Hell yeah!
I mean, he's been doing his thing. I don't think Strickland is a bum. He's not one of those fighters.
People seen him get knocked out by fucking
Usman.
Pajeda.
Yeah,
Usman fucked him up too.
Yeah. I like his attitude though. I'll tell you, I like his attitude about things.
I think that was at welterweight though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a He's like someone who he already said that though, like just a trailer trash pack dude. Like he doesn't give a fuck. He just says whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
I respect that.
he's
I'll tell you
hilarious,
that,
man.
yeah.
He is who he is.
Yeah.
Some people say that they don't. The UFC is like does not want him to be a champion because of that shit. But I'm like, man, let the man have his moment.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
Yeah, let him. I mean,
and obviously, you don't hear about that from anybody actually in the UFC, but like you could probably tell. You could tell that someone would probably like, "Fuck, this guy's the champion now."
Yeah, and that's the thing about it, though, man. Where it's not scripted, it doesn't matter who the best character is or who's the most liked by the fans. It matters who goes in the fucking cage and gets the job done.
Yeah.
that's it.
Plain and simple. That's all it boils
up.
down to. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. You
And,
know what I mean? As far as the sport itself goes, you know.
And
But-
touching on the sport, people are saying Pereira moved up too fast. You guys think he moved up too fast?
No.
Or?
No,
He's a little
huge.
older, too,
He's
ain't
fucking
he?
huge.
No, I'm not talking about it. I'm just talking about his weight now. They said the UFC was giving him a layup, and I'm like, how though? He just fought like
Yeah,
four.
no.
He only fought like 3 times at middleweight. He only has like 4 UFC fights, like 4 or 5, right?
But everybody he
Yeah,
fought
but he had
was
a
everybody
very
he's fought
good-
is being a champion or is a champion now. Like Strickland, dude fought like legit guys. But another thing is Pereira was not just coming from a low class, like one of them low fighters who's trying to get in the UFC. Dude was already a worldwide renowned kickboxer.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, the dude is fighting the best in the world, and he's only fought like 3 or 4
Full
people
time, yeah.
below ranks. You know what I'm saying? You're fighting the champion off of 3 wins.
Well, yeah, they said that.
That's pretty crazy.
They set that shit up. They wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
They definitely
Oh, yeah.
wanted that.
It's a good story though.
It's because
It's a
of
good
he
story. I
won,
think it's a
and he
great
won.
story.
He won.
Yeah.
He fucking beat him. He was the first to
Yep.
beat him.
Yep.
So, hey,
it was crazy how he came back and beat him that second time.
I think that was awesome.
That was
It
awesome.
was a little corny, some things, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not.
When he fell in front of the
He's
kid, though,
yeah, he's
that
on
was
the-
fucking funny.
I ain't gonna hold you. I'll be honest. Like he does some corny stuff.
Oh yeah.
which is that's his person. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes a little cringy, but hey, that's his person. He's trying.
Yeah, he's an animator.
He's trying. You
guy,
can't disrespect the man for trying. And he's one of the baddest motherfucker on earth.
Yeah.
I don't care if he paints his nails, if he's wearing high heels, he's still
Hey,
gonna
but
fuck you
Strickland
up.
said it, bro. He said, "No man that beats off the cartoons is gonna fucking beat me." I guess he was right.
I think that dude, that celebration though, when he knocked out Pereira, was probably one of the coldest
yeah.
fucking.
And then when he fell in front of the kid.
Yeah, the way he got up and like he rehearsed this shit, bro. Like he got up as soon as he fucking started him. He said he even asked the referee. He was like, "When I finish him, give me my moment. Like let me have a second." He literally got like didn't even have the referee pull him off. Like he stopped, got up, drew 3 arrows into his fucking chest, and then celebrated. I was like, that was sick. That was cool. It was
He got
a
his
cool
lick
ass.
back.
Yeah, he got more than one. He needs to beat him again, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But yeah,
And what do you guys see? Who's your pick for Islam and
I got Oliveira.
Oliveira?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I got anybody who fights a fucking Dagestani or a Russian. No
Me too.
racist shit. No, none
Russians
at
are
all.
white.
None intended. But fuck these Russian, man. They taking over. I hate the wrestlers, man.
Yeah.
I want Oliveira to starch his ass. I hate when I see Khabib and Makachev talking about they the goats. None of y'all are the fucking goats. Get the fuck out of here.
You know what
You can wrestle really good. Good for you, bro.
You know what I think they do in Dagestani and Russia? Why do you watch people in America like punch and kick? They're like, oh, let them punch and kick. We'll just wrestle. We'll wrestle the whole time.
Yeah.
You see what Sean Strickland
We'll go over
did to
there
that
and wrestle them.
Dagestani dude? He put the fucking mittens on him.
Yeah.
TKO'd his ass.
I love it. I love it. Like it just like no fucked up shit intended, but like I just hate I hate the way they act, bro. I enjoy the like I believe in myself, I'm the best type of thing, but like they just repeat the same things like I number one, I best, I goat, I the goat. I'm like, bro, y'all are not the goat. You can't.
I ain't gonna lie. I watched an interview not long ago with Khabib. It was like a Valuetainment. You know Patrick Bet-David, that guy. He had an hour-long interview with Khabib, and I watched it. I was like, he's actually not. You know what I mean? Like when you look past the fucking the theatrics of fight promotion and all that,
But
he's not a bad dude. But while he was in UFC, bro, I was like, fuck,
But
this
some of the stuff
motherfucker
he
again.
says, bro, though, he's just like when you talk about other guys, you're like, oh, this guy, like he'll be like, well, but look at me. Who I the best? Nobody better than me. I the best. And I'm like, bro, who have you fought besides 3 dudes in the top 5, bro? Like you at 155 and you out wrestled them, bro. Good job. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, like, dude, Conor McGregor drunk off of fucking ounces of cocaine the day before, came in there and took a round off you. You were like talking about I'm the greatest. Like, and Conor McGregor, in my opinion, I love him. He's amazing, but he's not one of the greatest of all time.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And like, look at what like they, and then he hypes up Islam. He's like, oh yeah, Islam, you know, my number 1 prodigy, he number 1, he the best, he the GOAT, right? And Islam talks the same shit, right? Look what Volkanovski did to Islam.
Yeah, Volk won that fight. That was a
lower
fucking
weight class.
robbery, bro.
Lower weight class.
That's
You
true.
ain't number 1, bro. If the next weight down below you is coming up and handing you an ass whooping like that, you are not number 1 in the world.
Yep.
You are not the GOAT of all weight classes. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
Fuck no.
Oh, that card they be talking about, Volkanovski put it on him like, hey,
Volk
let's
put
go.
that shit
Let's
on
go.
his ass and made
Yeah.
people see that the Russians ain't indestructible.
Volk's built different though.
And I just like Oliveira's story too, man. I
We'll
think
see.
Oliveira's a fucking
We'll see how it plays out.
slum, fucking come from the slums, fucking alcoholic parents, like
Yo, want to know the fight I'm most excited about? Kamzat.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see Hamzat come
That's the
back.
fight I can't wait to see.
Oh yeah.
He's a
They
machine.
hit each other.
Yeah,
Like they both hate each other.
yeah.
I want to see
I wanna see
Kazmat
it.
fight fucking what's his name? The wrestler from America.
Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel, yeah. I wanna
Oh
see him
yeah,
fight
that'd be
Bo.
good. That'd
be
be
a good
really
fight.
good.
Yeah.
That'd be a sick fight.
Bo Nickel's a beast.
Yeah, that'd be a sick ass fight.
They're gonna grapple the fuck out of each other.
See, those are wrestlers that I do like because they'll bang it out too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bo's got some
Yeah.
knockouts on the resume.
Mhm.
So
Some mean ones.
yeah.
Some straight mock. Hell yeah.
Oh shit.
You been watching any Contender series lately?
Nah, I don't really watch
I try to
that
catch
shit.
it like
I just
if,
see like the highlights and shit.
if it's Tuesday and I go on Hulu and ESPN Plus says it's on live right now, I'll fucking watch it. But
I've been so deep into Game of Thrones, bro. Every opportunity
yeah,
I
he's been
get,
watching that shit.
every
almost
opportunity I
day.
get, if it's not football on or UFC, I'm watching Game of Thrones.
I just keep rewatching the fucking Sopranos and Trailer Park Boys.
Trailer Park Boys is funny.
It's fire.
I started showing him that. I showed him
Dude,
like the
I got a
first 4
Trailer Park
episodes
Boys
of-
tattoo right
Yeah,
here.
Trailer
bro.
Park Boys funny.
He thinks that shit's funny as
I
hell.
love Trailer Park Boys, man.
Yeah.
It's
You
my,
got to keep going into it.
It's my
hard.
Yeah, I
roots,
watch
bro.
it. I like it.
I'm a Trailer Park Boy, man.
You ever seen Californication?
No.
This is I like those series that are just raw. It just feels like you're actually there with them. It's like a
Yep.
sitcom.
Yeah. What is it called? Like a mockumentary?
Mockumentary, that's what they call it?
Yeah, like it's like a fake documentary.
Oh, like The
a-
Office?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It's like you'll have them sitting to the side talking to the camera. Like it's not like the camera crew isn't
It's
there.
yeah,
like,
it's all
you know what I
set.
mean?
Yeah. It makes it actually feel like a reality show, but at the same time a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like it,
Yep.
and it's funny.
Oh yeah.
Trailer Park Boys is
Dude, it's
different kind.
it's the
It's
best.
stupid.
Man.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, but in like
Julian.
the most intelligent way. I don't know how to explain it.
It's a live action of like a Family Guy kind of saying The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Bro,
They're just so random.
Wait till you get farther into it, bro. It just gets better.
You ever seen Ed, and Eddie?
Better. dude.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it
It
reminds me
gets
of.
better and better.
Stupid grown ass man shit.
Bro, you should wait till you get to the part where they start trying to transport weed from America to Canada.
On the train?
And they have like a train, right? But it's a toy train, bro. They take a toy train with tracks and they run the toy tracks through the forest of Canada into America, and they like run this toy train.
The Swayze Express.
Into America, and then they load it up with cigarettes and weed, and then they drive it back over, and they start selling it in the trailer park, bro.
What?
It's so hilarious. Just like the way it's like, Julian, get the what's it what's the 2 idiots that they always
Trevor and
Corey. Trevor and Corey. Well, smokes like that shit. What the fuck?
Yeah,
is it?
dude.
What the fuck's on the train, dude?
I've watched that show so many times, bro. I've lost count. Like I've rewatched the whole series numerous times.
Yeah, it's just funny as hell.
Like even at it's just background noise. Like it's on.
Yeah.
It's always on.
Yeah, smoke some weed and watch some Trailer Park
The
Boys.
Sopranos, that's something I like to sit there and pay attention to.
You know something I used to watch like that? Futurama.
Yeah, Futurama's a good show.
Never seen it.
You know is it Futurama?
I've heard of it. never seen it.
Futurama will hit you in the feels too.
Yeah.
They go pretty deep on shit. It's
Yeah,
pretty
they do.
cool.
They do. It's a lot of expose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Can I hit that, man?
Yeah, bro, Ripper Skipper.
All right, so let's dive into some fucking music. All right.
Fucking music festival.
Yeah, let's dive in. Juice.
Yes, sir.
You've been to how many music festivals?
Oh, dude, I used to go to Warped Tour every year.
Explain to people because I don't know either really. What's
So,
Warped Tour?
Warped Tour used to be this like traveling music festival. It was done by Vans, the shoe company, the skate shoe company.
Okay, cool.
So it was the Vans Warped Tour, and they'd been doing it since like I want to say the '90s, and it started off as like all punk bands, like just skater punk bands, and then it progressed into like the shit I was listening to. You know what I mean? When I was going was like metalcore and like emo music, but they still had a lot of punk and pop punk bands as well. Like I remember one year even fucking Machine Gun Kelly was at Warped Tour. Like it really evolved into like all kinds of shit. But like all of that like fucking scene music, like the fucking emo shit, the metalcore, like that was all them bands were fucking there.
There was no hip hop.
There was though, but
Okay.
it was just not it wasn't very much. Like there'd be like a few rappers, you know what I mean? Like I said, Machine Gun Kelly was there. I think that year he was probably one of the few. There was maybe one or two more, but it was mostly like pop punk, emo bands.
And where was this at?
Bands. They did it all over the country. It was in like every state, but
Where would you go?
I went to the Meriwether, or I would go to Virginia Beach.
Is it multiple days?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
and you like stay in a hotel or like you camp?
I would. Yeah, we would stay in a hotel.
Yeah. So you never done a camping fest?
Nah.
Oh, dude, you gotta do those. They're sick.
Yeah.
That's a time.
I mean,
it's a time.
I imagine so. I mean, I've been to other concerts and shit, but like one day shits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not staying in a tent all weekend, bro.
Really, dude?
I don't
See,
know.
well, so like if you did it with us, I feel like you would have a good.
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It depends on who you go
Yeah,
with.
you got to have the right people, and it's hard to find people because people are so against it, and then there is the people who are all about it. Like
I'd definitely be down.
it's a fun ass time for sure. So like that sounds cool as shit. Like I would love like
Yeah,
they don't
it
even
was
they don't
dope.
do Warped. They don't do that anymore.
Nah,
Warped
man,
Tour?
they stopped it. Like I want to say like 5 years ago. Now I can't remember what the last year was. I want to say 2018, maybe 2019, but they just stopped doing it. It was dope, man. I'd go every year. It was a good
How much
time.
are the tickets?
Cheap, honestly. Like I wish I could remember, man. Like I can't remember.
You talking about like 300, 400,
Hell
or like
no.
cheaper?
Hell
okay,
no,
yeah.
cheaper, bro. And there's like a ton of fucking bands. Like when you get there that day, there's every day is different. Like they don't put it up till the morning. So as soon as you go in there, you go up to the fucking big inflatable thing that has the bands and the times they play.
Yeah.
And you got to sit there and figure out like there might be two bands you want to see, but they're playing at the same time.
Yeah.
So you got to pick between the two. Like there's a fuck ton of bands playing.
Yeah.
Like crazy amount.
Yeah.
You're just there until from the morning time until fucking it gets dark.
That's why I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's so fucking awesome.
Yep.
Just indulge yourself in the live music all day.
And
for 3
it's
days.
crazy. I mean, there's all kinds of fucking people there. Of course, you got like the people there that are fucking trying to run scams, and you got the fucking like the monks,
The
there.
mosh pitters, the fucking
like,
hippies,
yeah,
all
the
groups.
monks like trying to like sell you books and come get you to live at the monastery or some shit. I don't
Really?
know. Dude, yeah, it was crazy. There was all kinds of people out there, man. It was
Yeah,
wild.
all types of
Like
vibes.
I know this lady. She used to work at a food truck there every year in the Meriwether. Like
Because they make shit ton of money.
yeah,
too.
I mean, like it created a lot like of opportunities and stuff for local businesses and people to like sell shit. Like I remember there was random vendors there selling like fucking like those fake knockoff hats and shit.
Yeah.
Like I remember one.
It's still like that, bro. It ain't changed much.
This motherfucker had a hat that said the Miami Heats with an S.
Oh.
I almost bought it just because it was fucking hilarious.
It ain't
But-
stuff like that.
But yeah, I mean, like Warped Tour was cool. It's definitely like, like I said, it was like definitely a niche kind of thing. Like it was mostly like within like one realm of like music, like that kind of scene.
Yeah.
like the skater punk.
That's exactly kind of what we
emo.
went to just recently.
Yeah, and that was all like like the more like the 90s, early 2000s, like
To
more
meet your people.
commercial metal kind of like Pantera.
Yeah, for sure. That's basically every band that was like just playing the one we went to.
Yeah.
Like just all fucking like headline metal bands that like have a big cult following.
Right.
Yeah.
And Warped Tour would have like a few bands that were like huge
Yeah. The headliners.
and they would play at the very
Yeah,
end.
you gotta have the headliners. Yeah. Yeah, fucking dude. So I'm gonna lock you in. Then you're already set. When we go again to another one, you're coming. I was gonna
All right,
bring you
bet.
to the most recent one, but I ended up only having 4 tickets, and then no son Jake ended up coming. But you honestly, you better be happy you didn't come because that shit was.
My boy Tyler, man, Tyler Anderson. He said he went and it was
fucked, dude.
Yeah.
So fucked. But we'll get to that. Nosa here. I think you've been to what 3 now, and I've taken you to every single one, right?
Yeah, 3 festivals.
Yeah, so you've been to one like indie alternative / like EDM and hip hop, which is Firefly,
Yeah.
Rockville,
Uh-huh.
and then Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Okay, so far out of all those 3, what was your favorite performance so far that you've seen at a festival?
That's easy. It's top 2. One was the EDM guy Solo. What's his name?
Han Solo.
Han Solo. Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yep. And I think the second one would be Slipknot.
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
dude, I bet
Slipknot was fucking sick.
Sick.
Sick as fuck.
Slipknot's fucking.
Everything I thought it was
I think
gonna
Shinedown would have taken that number 2 spot. We didn't get them just to see them show down.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so far out of the 3 festivals you've been to, so we did one where we stayed in an Airbnb, traveled back and forth.
Oh, that was
And
comfortable.
it was comfortable. And then we have done 2 where we camp. Do you prefer like camping or do you prefer staying in the Airbnb?
I like both. I think.
All right. So picture the camping though without the fuckery, like the weather. Like imagine it being just nice the whole time. Like not counting like the fact that we got fucked by a windstorm one time and a rainstorm.
I think the
second
camping
time.
has more freedom than the Airbnb.
Yeah, it does. It's cool.
I could do whatever the fuck I want.
As long as you go.
But with the
prepared.
Airbnb,
Yeah,
someone's
gotta
house.
go prepared.
With someone's house, you gotta have roof cells and all that. But it's my camp. I pay for the spot.
Right.
It's like when Christopher Columbus discovered America, and just stood there and like, yeah, this is my spot.
This is my shit now,
This is
dog.
my shit now. Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
for that little 3 days, you pay for that land. You're like, yeah,
We're gonna fuck this
you
shit
come over
up.
here, I could fuck you up because it's my property. Yeah. So I think the camping has a little bit more freedom. You could smoke all day.
Oh
Do
yeah.
whatever the fuck you want. And I mean, and then you could set up your camp in a way where you have everything. You could play games. You could play music. Our camp is always a vibe.
Always.
Training,
Always
hitting
a vibe.
I got
pads,
it set to. I got
turn
it.
it
Look, I got
up.
it down to the science.
training, hitting pads, and all that shit.
Yeah,
I be mixing it all day with a DJ. So it's a good vibe. I would smoke, have fun, blow Mother Nature.
Eat some
air.
shrooms.
Just
Yeah, I'm all about that shit.
Yeah,
have
I'm
fun.
telling you, we'll have some fun, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I took notes. I felt bad because, right, I've hyped it up so much because he knows me. I love a music festival. You tell me that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I've been to a
that's
lot of
one of my
concerts.
Yeah, I love concerts too. I love
Not
live
just
music.
like not festivals, but like concerts where like 4 or 5 bands play.
Yeah.
You go home. Like
And I love all of it, right? I love just going and seeing live music. But a festival, right? I really get to indulge into like that feeling of just like freedom and no worries in the world besides
And there's
what
great
the fuck
food.
I'm listening to.
and the food is great. It's
food's
just different.
great.
You can't find it
The
elsewhere.
vibe.
It's just different.
Everything, bro. So like I felt bad. I took him, right? So I hyped up Firefly. First one I took him to was Firefly. Hyped up, or no, I took you to Rockville first, didn't I?
It was Rockville.
Yeah, so I took him to Rockville, down to Daytona Beach, Rockville. Guns N' Roses was headlining, Kiss, Shine Down, fucking Papa Roach, fucking Five Finger Death Punch, all these big guys. Took him down there. Same thing, right? So, but we went down there, got an Airbnb. I took him, bro, on like a week and a half, 2 weeks notice. I took him and 4 other people or 3 other people down there. I won the tickets off the radio station. They hooked me up, and then they gave me extra tickets because I wanted to claim the second one. So I was like, fuck it, I'll get some friends. And we just rallied up and on the fly just went all the way down 14 hours to Daytona, stayed in this dope ass Airbnb at like this fat ass crib with like a pool and shit. It was cool. And then so they have the festival at the Daytona International Speedway. So it's like the NASCAR track in the infield and shit like that is where like the stages are and the vendors and the food and all that shit. They had like fucking carnival rides out there this time.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. They had like all kinds of carnival rides. They had a Ferris wheel set up in front of main
Damn.
stage, so you can watch the headline on the main stage and be up in the Ferris wheel.
That's
It's
fucking
so
wild.
badass. Like you're like, and it's not far. It's like you're right up there. So basically,
And Daytona was beautiful too.
what'd you say?
The beach was. It was.
Oh yeah, it was a vibe, right?
It was a vibe,
The only fucking problem was during hurricane season. So
Damn.
We fucking got shit on by this tropical storm, dude. First day, we got to go out
Florida.
there, enjoy it. We saw Kiss. It was awesome.
Yes.
Kiss was fucking sick. I mean, like, they're 70 years old. 70 years old, but they rocked the fuck out.
out.
Probably lip singing the whole thing, but who cares? It was an awesome show. We saw Kiss. He loved it. That was his first time ever seeing
I
a
love
classic
Kiss. That's
American
fucking
rock and
awesome.
roll live,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So he fell in love. He's like, this shit's awesome. And then I got him into now he's loves Def Leppard and Alice in Chains
Oh, yeah.
and all that shit. He loves them. So and it was cool to me because all my friends, I'm the only one who listens to rock like that, really. So it was cool to they all him, Anthony, and Andrea, they never they know about some of it, but they don't listen to it. Definitely would never go see it live. So it was cool to expose them to it and see how they're bringing them to a festival, how cool it is to just be there all day, listen to 6 fucking bands that you love, and then get to go talk about it and get high as fuck and relax and not worry about your phone or anything else is going on, right? That shit was cool as fuck. But then second day we get there, rainstorm like a motherfucker. They evacuated the festival, so we had to go sit in the car. We sat in the car. But leaving out we stayed at a cool house Airbnb. So we went to the beach and shit. We fucking were at the pool. We grilled. We worked out. It was a cool vibe.
That's dope.
Yeah, but the festival itself. So we get there. They evacuate everybody. We're sitting in the car for 2 hours. Finally, they delay everything back. We missed Seether. Missed fucking some other. I think Skillet and another band I missed too. Because of that I wanted to see. The day before we saw Papa Roach, Kiss, and who else did we see? Megadeth.
Megadeth is so sick, dude.
I think we saw.
Fucking love Megadeth.
I'm not sure who else it was, but Friday was the reason I came, right? So I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. I love Slash. I think Slash is the badass as fuck. I wanted to see him live. I have a poster of him in my room. I have Guns N' Roses flags. I was I'm here to see Guns N' Roses one time live because they're old as fuck and they're about to be calling it quits. Drove 14 hours, dragged my friends down there. This is the day of front Guns N' Roses. They evacuated it. So this was 4 o'clock. So 2 hours goes by. It's 6, 7. They canceled all the bands that were supposed to play in those few time slots, right? So Seether, Skillet. And then they were just going to jump right into the 2 headliners and push them back. So it was Shinedown and Guns N' Roses. I love Shinedown. He was fucking awesome. They ended up loving him. Guns N' Roses after them. They're the headliner. We get in there, Shinedown starts in, he's rocking the fuck out. The place is going nuts because they had just been evacuated and they mobbed in there. I remember it was so crazy. The line got so long, it was probably a 1.5 mile long line of people trying to get back in and they couldn't handle it at the gates. So they just ripped open the fucking the gate and just started letting people just pour in and didn't even give a fuck about wristband, security, nothing. Because it was just a mob, just people get us in here, we want to, because dude, we were in line for a half hour and I started seeing people just walk up there and I'm man, I ain't sitting in this fucking line. People just walking all the way past us, walking up and eventually it got so condensed and everybody was just like, fuck this, we're getting in because the show was about to start in 20 minutes and the line was an hour and a half long, 2 hours long. So everybody storms in, we go into Shinedown, he's rocking out. Anthony loves it. Anthony was loving it and he doesn't even listen to rock, doesn't even care for it, loving it. Third song in, there's lightning in the background. It was cool as fuck, bro. He come out, raining. It was like a drizzle, and then in the background you could see the storm and the lightning behind the stage set, and he had purple lights on his, and it was sick.
That's dope.
And he's fucking singing, and third song in, boom, pops up on the screen. We're evacuating everything.
Damn.
Yeah, due to weather.
Right, and it was the biggest meme ever. People were posting it all in the group chats and all over the threads, and they were Rockville 2022, and it was just the picture of the radar with the storms because it stormed all day, every day after Thursday. Yeah. And there was so I go all the way down there. Keep in mind, you go to a festival, there's 70 bands, 10 headliners. I'm going down there to see at least 5 of them. I'm really interested to see, and I only got to see one. It was Kiss.
Yep.
So I go down there. That happens. They cancel the rest of the show. We evacuate out. I don't get to see Guns N' Roses. I don't get to see Shinedown.
We drove how many hours? 10 hours.
14.
14, right?
It was 14 hours. Yep. It was 12 and a half, but with stops and shit, it's about 14, 13. But yeah, dude, that shit fucking sucks. So I didn't get to see them. Then Saturday, we go back. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. And then Saturday, we're coming back to go see, who was the headliner? I forgot who it was that night. And Same thing. Stormed all day, canceled the show. So
Damn.
yeah, it was like that. We were gonna leave on Sunday anyway because I didn't really care for the bands on Sunday, and we wanted to get home. It was a 14-hour drive before starting the week on Monday. Yeah, went all the way down there, got to see fucking one headliner that we cared about, and that shit got ruined. And then I was like, dude, we got to go to Firefly. Like, I got to take you out to Firefly. It's way cooler. It's way bigger. Crazy ass, but like different variety of music, different, better things to do. Like metal is one thing. You go to a metal festival, like it's just like the music and like some vendors.
Right.
Bro, you go to like Firefly or like a EDM, like alternative vibey kind of like hippie festival, bro.
It's just wild.
So much shit to do, bro. You can go. They got like hammock zones. Where they got hammocks tied up in trees, and you can go read a book and sit in a hammock and just in the shade, dude. They got this fucking thing called a silent disco in the woods.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, you go in the woods and there's like what do they call it? Shipping
Headphones?
containers. Yeah, but there's like shipping containers stacked up on top of each other, and like there's like different levels, and they turn this whole woods area into like a nightclub. And you put on your headphones, right? And there's 3 channels, and there's 3 DJs: red station, blue station, green station. And everybody in there, like you can just switch the stations and vibe out with one DJ and like go over to his part of the club and like turn up. But it's like not a club; it's like outside. They like turn this woods area into this.
That's wild.
It's so badass. And you're just vibing out, dancing, like whatever station. And people will come up to you dancing, and like they're on a different station, so they tell you to switch, and you switch the station.
Yep.
It's just a vibe, dude. And then like the camping's awesome. Everybody's super friendly. Everybody's super cool. Like, you're just out there just chilling all day, smoking weed, listening to music, playing games, drinking, fucking doing shrooms. Like, and then inside the festival grounds, it's like just so much to do. It's that kind of stuff. There's pop-up bars.
A lot of food.
Lots of great food, like pop-up bars, like where like they'll take like a Bud Light or like a different company. They'll have like Malibu has this sick ass spot. They pop up this pop-up bar. It's like a food truck, but it's a bar. And they have like all like smoothie blended, like coconut, pineapple flavored with like, and then the rum, right? And that's what they make. They make only 1 or 2 drinks, but it's like a frozen mixed drink, right? And inside of there's like fucking beer pong set up, but with trash cans and a beach ball.
What?
So you could play that, and it's all sand. They sand the whole thing, so it's like a big beach area theme with like fake palm trees and shit. And like these are like little pop-up things. Like Bud Light has one, Malibu has one, like Red Bull has one, like, and they have like a different theme. Like so Bud Light would do like the VIP Vegas rooftop bar, like, and it would be like a pool bar on the rooftop, and it would be like shipping containers with like an actual pool and like bubbles everywhere. And
Wild
like,
shit.
Yeah, it's just a turn up, bro. Like you're just having a great time. Like so many things to do to keep you stimulated. You're like, oh,
Right.
all right, I'm done doing this. Let's go do this. Like you get a whole itinerary, and then on top of that, you have some of your favorite bands playing all day long and all night.
That's
So like you can hear them in the background while you're doing something else playing, or you can go up and watch the show. Like it's cool as fuck. You got in the campground, they got like roller skating rink. Like
What?
it's like an outdoor roller skating rink. Yeah, they put this flooring down.
Yep.
You can go roller skating, and it's got like little twinkle lights everywhere, so it looks all fucking like cute and shit, bro. Like
That is wild.
they got hot air balloon rides out there. They got
I didn't know it was like that.
yeah, they got like this. So for the campers, it's called the hub, right? And it's your camp hub, and it has like a big general store. So you got like all the camp. If you need anything at all, they got that shit. Anything you could possibly need, they got it. Like in that moment, it's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is taxed.
Yeah, they got they got a stage in the campground because a DJ will come out and play a set in the campground after everybody's done at night. Like it's like a little mini stage, kind of like how they set up right here, and they just play for like until like 2 a.m. so you can party in the campground, right?
That's dope.
Too. Yeah, it's just fun. The whole
Yeah, man. They got big ass teepees on the sand. You can go inside and read a book or just like eat your breakfast or whatever with chairs in it. They got volleyball courts. They got fucking just anything, bro. Everything and anything out there. And then in the festival, you got like the bazaar. They have this big ass tent. They put up like a circus tent kind of. And underneath of it is like all these vendors that like home make all their shit. So like jewelry, bags, fanny packs, like dude, flannels. I get these badass flannels. Me and him both have one where they like thrift flannels and put these logos and I forgot the dude's name. I wish I could throw it up on the screen because shout out to him. He hooks me up every year. Every festival I go to, I see him out there. He sells them. He's awesome. Got some of the dopest shit you could fucking find. But like just all kinds of cool shit to do, bro.
Dude, that is fucking
It's
dope.
a vibe. Just like, and then you do that for 4 days. You don't have to worry about shit. You don't look at your phone. You don't care about what other people are doing. You're just out there smoking weed, doing shrooms, drinking, whatever the fuck you want to do in your own world for 4 days, listening to music. Like nobody judges you. Nobody cares. Nobody like, you could be doing the weirdest shit and nobody will blink an eye at you, bro.
Right.
It's really fucking, it's a cool atmosphere. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you was like, going to Firefly, like I felt bad because it sucked because it was the year after COVID and like they downscaled the fuck out of it. Like they didn't have the hot air balloon rides. They didn't have some of the pop-up bars. They didn't have the camping hub with like all the teepees and shit. And of course it's the year I bring him and I'm hyping it up. I'm like, there's all this shit. And it's because they didn't do as good on ticket sales because the lineup wasn't the greatest, but it was after COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, so I brought him out there for that. It was still fun. We got to see some cool things. I was going to say my personal favorite, one of the favorites I've ever seen was Green Day. And he saw him Green Day with me. Green Day was awesome. Green Day was a vibe, and Post Malone. That's the best two performances I've ever seen live. I saw Post Malone at Firefly the year before that. So I went for the first Firefly super unprepared. Didn't have nothing, like last minute, like my friend calls me up. He's like, it's like 1 a.m. I'm working security at the local bar at Brew River. And he's like, dude, man, you got to get out here. I know you've never been to a festival, but like I have an extra ticket for you. And he's leaving. My buddy's leaving. He could give you his wristband. You could stay for the rest of the weekend. And Post Malone's playing and all this shit. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't have no clothes with me. I don't have no water. Like nothing. He's like, it's cool. I got all of it. Whatever. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, right? He's like, his girl's gonna come up here and pick him up. She'll drive. It's only an hour away, so that's convenient as fuck. I do like that Firefly's so close. If something bad happened, you could totally just pack shit and go home.
Yeah.
Right. But so his girl picks me up at 1:30 in the morning from Brew River, drives me all the way up to Dover. I get out, I meet him at the gate. We swap wristbands. His girl takes him home and with my one homeboy, and I get there and he don't got nothing, bro. He got a car and one tent. That's it. No cooler, no nothing.
I said, I got you.
A car and a tent, right? And I'm like, what the? So I slept in the car. I'm like, bro, he had clothes. That's it. He had clothes for me. He had a case of water and a fuck ton of blunts. That's all he had, right?
Yeah.
And like,
the essentials.
but you can get away with it. Like, if you know a lot of people out there, which in Firefly, everybody in the area, everybody around here I know goes out there. So you got campsites you can go chill out that people actually like, put their time into making a nice campsite and getting nice stuff, right? So like we did that a lot the whole weekend, but it was just like, bro, like I ate like a peanut butter sandwich like 3 times a day for like 3 days, bro, like just water. And like, it sounds terrible, but it was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh yeah.
Most fun I ever had in my entire life. Got to do tons of awesome shit with tons of awesome people. Got to see Post Malone. He was fucking awesome. Everybody I saw was awesome. So it sucked for him. He didn't get to experience that for his first one. And I want to bring a group where you guys all come and you get to see that shit the way it is on that proportion, and you'll have the most fun weekend ever. Like,
I didn't know it was crazy like that.
Yeah, they throw it down out there.
Because like you said, metal
You get
festivals
dressed weird.
and rock festivals are different. They ain't like that. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Like there's some fun shit there, but it's not nothing like what you're talking about.
The entire time you just hearing wow, dum 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 dum
Mosh
dum
pits and shit. Yeah, it's a different vibe itself.
I did get to see Soundgarden.
That's cool.
It was called the DC Chili Cook-Off. Bro, I don't know like who was cooking off chili. Like I was like pumped. There was like there wasn't like a chili cook-off. It was just called that. And if
thought you were going there to get some chili,
look, if they did have a fucking chili cook-off, I didn't see the shit. But I saw fucking Soundgarden and some other bands. That was pretty fucking cool.
Soundgarden would be sick.
Oh,
You'd
dude,
like Soundgarden.
Soundgarden was so fucking sick. It was cool. It was really cool seeing it. I got to see him twice actually. Another time was at fucking Jiffy Lube. I got to see them. 9 Inch Nails.
9 Inch Nails,
which
badass.
was probably up there with like the craziest, like wildest, like just show that I've seen put on as far as like lights and visuals.
Yeah,
and
that's why you got to
together.
go to a fest. It's insane, dude.
Yeah, I mean that shit. Like the Foo Fighters I saw.
I seen them. They're cool as shit.
That was at the Merriweather. But yeah, mostly I've been to like concerts. I've been to a lot of different like I like going to like smaller intimate concerts too. Like,
Yeah.
stuff like Ram's Head. I mean that's kind of big, but like it's
Rams
not
have live.
Yeah, it's not big compared to like going to a festival or going to like
Yeah, the
Jiffy
stage
Lube
is
or
huge.
Merriweather.
The
or nothing
crowd
like
is
that.
crazy. You're talking 100,000.
Like, dude, I just saw Shania Twain at the fucking Merriweather.
Yeah.
It was wild. Like I've been to Merriweather plenty of times. There wasn't even that many fucking people there for fucking Warped Tour at Merriweather. I've never seen so many people packed.
I heard
into
about
that.
this year. I heard it was like crazy packed. I think. I
Dude,
heard
it was
something about
wild. It
this.
was so random too because my brothers went and they were both like, "Hey man, we got this fucking extra ticket. You want to come see Shania Twain?" I was like, "Fuck it, why not?" Yeah, that was a good fucking time. We got pretty hammered.
Yeah, we'll have a great time, dude. Like that shit, especially if it's a fire lineup with some people. But yeah, it's nothing quite like it. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend going to a fucking music festival. Get out of your element, try it. It's fun. You have a great time, especially if you go to a good group of people. You prepare correctly, and you'll have a great time. That's what I do now. I make sure I'm prepared. Because after that first year, I was like, all right, I know what I need.
Yeah.
And then every year after that, it's been great.
You gotta
except
stay
for,
strapped with the water and the sunscreen.
The
And
weather.
yeah, the weather is the only thing sometimes that got us. Like,
got dressed right.
I went 1 year. I went 1 year to Firefly with some of my best friends, and this was without you. This was after the first time I went, and it was great. We had no perfect weather. Couldn't get better. 75 all day, sunny every day. Not cold at night. Like it was just awesome. Beautiful weekend. Great performances, and that was the best one I ever had an experience to do. The worst one